All right, we're live. Hello and welcome to Colourisma. I'm Shar, and today on the show we have have a guest, Evita. So how are you doing today, Evita?
Hello. I am good. I literally I just washed my face just to be here.
I mean, same,
um,
same.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here for real.
Okay, cool. Yeah. No, I'm such a fan of your work. Like, truly, honestly, so I just so everybody watching kind of knows, like, we know each other from a prior workplace, and I think is what would you say we bonded kind of over? I kind of have a feeling that it was like when we started talking about like 90s anything. Like, I think it was video games. I think we were talking about PlayStation or something.
In general, I don't know, Shar just has like a good mixed nuts medley of just good stuff. Like one of the main things that just really stuck out about you to me is the fact that you speak the shy language, but you have so much to say. And everything that comes out of your mouth is I'm either learning something or I'm looking at something different or I'm just kind of just whoa. Just you're just not,
That's fair.
yeah, you're not another extra in life. Does that make sense?
Hey, I don't mind being like
Value.
the star of my own show. That's cool.
Sorry. Just value. And it's I know it's common to, especially at the workplace, it's common to run into the same type of people over and over and over again. It's just
Yeah.
once you yeah, you run into one person, you just kind of meet them all, but it's completely different. Immediately we just hit it off. It was just
Right.
witchcraft.
I know. I know. I mean, whatever it is, I feel the same exact way. I just remember for sure, like, we started talking about like old. I was pretty sure it was PlayStation, old PlayStation or Sega. I don't remember which one it was, but we were talking about
Something.
one of those kind of consoles or
Yeah.
whatnot, and I was just like, "Yep, this is good."
It was something. It was just things that stemmed from childhood memories that stemmed from
Yes.
just being like just being your general innocent self in the most purest form. Just good people just
That's how
connecting.
they do.
Just
Yeah.
that's just how
Yeah.
it is.
And you do
It's like a secret society. We can't tell you too much. You know what
exactly.
happened?
But you kind of do a lot of stuff. I feel like you kind of incorporate some of that stuff into your, like, from stuff from childhood into your work too. Like, I guess, if just for anyone watching, what is it that you do? Like, if you were to describe it.
It's a mixture of a lot of things. It's a mixture of just if it's happy, sad, whatever the case may be. I know that a lot of us when we were kids, we did a lot of daydreaming. Like we did a lot of
Yeah.
daydreaming and a lot of deep just processing life as a child, just
Mm-hmm.
processing what do things mean, what do adults say when they tell us not to do something, or what draws us in. Is it the glitter and the fun stuff that draws us in, or is it just the essence of um an adult figure seeming magical? What makes them magical?
Yeah.
Are they magical because they're creative, and kids are very creative? It's a
Yeah.
lot of it, when we reach adult age, it's we forget how to do all that. We forget how to be innocent. We forget how to communicate with people who are different than us. We forget all
Right.
that stuff. Everything you learn in
We put our
kindergarten,
shields
just
up.
forget it. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. We put our shields up.
Yeah. And then it's just that's it. That's the last of that, we hear of our true selves. It's the world just kind of, we allow the world to get the best of us, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's
I
my way
think
of
I'm.
it's my way of keeping that side of me alive. So
Oh, good. Good. I'm getting a slight echo. Is there anything? Is it better now? I
It
can
should
still
be
hear
fine.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's on my end or if it's on this on the cast. We'll just power through it. So I guess stemming from that, what kind of led you on the path to being an artist? Like, what's like the first kind of thing that you kind of thought of starting out? Like, what kind of like projected you toward that path and what you do?
um, when I was like, I feel like all these questions are gonna like start off with like me talking about when I was a baby, when I was a wee lad. But a lot of it came from I have two older sisters, both very artistic. The oldest, very very artistic. Before I even like learned how to like write out my letters, I was learning how to draw by copying everything that she would draw in her sketchbook. At that time, when like anime was still kind of like new ish,
Mm-hmm.
like a new concept to so, like not really mainstream at that time. Like she would draw like her rendition of like these manga characters, and like she would
Oh,
teach me
cool.
how to do like the glittery gleamy eyes and like the dreamy, like
Yes.
the really like the sharp hair and stuff like that. And I would like look over her shoulder and like just literally draw what I see. I would
Mm-hmm.
draw what I would see, and by the time I was old enough to like enter elementary school, like I had the teachers like just kind of like, oh my god, this is amazing, and I'm just like, what, really? Like, so definitely drawing. Like all my art teachers loved me, and like just I
You're top of the
just
class.
like, huh?
You're the top of the class.
Yeah, like fest in my class. Like all my art teachers just loved me, and like it was just something that came natural, based on what I was picking up from like the role models and the figures in my life. Like, you know, my big sister definitely um planted that seed. So,
Mm-hmm.
and from
And you started
there,
with, oh, I'm just interrupting. You go ahead.
no,
I'm
no,
good.
well, I was just gonna say, like, from there, I just like it just started progressing. Like, I'd find something else creative, and I'm just like, "Ooh, I want to try that," and I'd go do that. Like, went from
Mm-hmm.
drawing to the painting to clay stuff to clay stuff to like, you know, I guess like um making like little like sculptures, weird little paper mache sculptures and stuff like that. From there, like
Yeah.
by high school, it was like, okay, once I found out how to use a sewing machine, I was just like, let me see what I can do with these clothes, like, then, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so on and so on.
And now you've kind of branched out. And do you do any more drawing, or are you? Because I kind of know you mostly as like the fashion stuff that you do.
Literally yesterday, I was pretty much hanging out with my like 4-year-old stepson, and we were drawing dinosaurs, and he was like, "Now you draw," and I was just like, "Me, right now, like, uh." I was so
Put on the
rusty, but
spot.
it was just like, wow, like have not really I don't really draw that often, but when I
Mm-hmm.
do, like I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it because like I don't know how to visually I don't know how to translate this fashion design onto like the mannequin. So let me like sit down and like, how am I going to do this? So it's
Yeah.
very far and few in between, but once in a while.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I was saying last week, one thing that I found fascinating with people when I used to work as a acrylic painter teacher is that people would criticize their own ability to draw, and they would say, "Oh, I'm not very good." And I said, "Well, when's the last time you drew anything?" And they'd say something like 20, 30 years ago, whatever. And I said, "Well, if you drew a person right now, how would you draw it?" And they would describe the process of them drawing it. It'd be like an oval and almond eyes and a triangle nose. And I said, right. So you haven't drawn in 20 years and you picked up exactly where you left off. That's pretty cool. Like, and I find that like something that would be really interesting uh, to hear if you feel that way, like from your own ability. Like when you go back to it, do you just kind of jump off where you know, where you left off, or?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the kind of I feel like a lot of the reason why I'm kind of like shy to jump back into it or shy to like pick up that pencil is because like I'm like in my head like over criticizing myself before I even start. And
Yeah.
it's like I know what to do. We know what to do
Yeah.
with this, but it's
Right.
just like break that wall down. Like whatever like, oh, I don't think this will come out right. Like, okay, do you know that? Did you start? Like just getting past that, usually I'm okay with what the outcome is if I just like keep chipping away at it. Like in the
Mhm.
end, like I'm just like, okay, like this is not bad for like several months of not doing this. Like,
Right. Right. Just picking it right back up. So I just find
yeah.
that like something that's really cool. And so you described kind of like drawing with your sister and that kind of being, would you say that's like your first meaningful experience with art? Kind of like that one thing, or is there like, was there multiple things that kind of like really pushed you toward, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, there were like multiple just like little milestones here and there. Like, of course the first thing was like just being around somebody who, was just like super talented, that being my sister. And then it went from that to like just having an interest into like going to like exhibits and like participating in like certain extra activities at school, like
Mm-hmm.
little competitions and stuff like that. Um, my sister took me to this exhibit called 30 Americans in I want to say it was in Raleigh. I don't remember. I
Mm-hmm.
want to say it was in Raleigh. At this point, like I was kind of like moving around a lot up and down the East Coast because my
Yeah.
dad's job at the time was just like kind of contract here, contract there, and it's just like, oh well, you can't
Mm-hmm.
come with me, so like you have
Yep.
to go spend some time with your sister, go stay with your aunts, go stay here, go stay there, but she would just set up like these little experiences for me that I can kind of like explore my interest a little bit more. And I thank for her for that even till this day. So that
Mm-hmm.
exhibit included artists like Kehinde Wiley. He did the Obama portrait with
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
the flowers in the back and stuff like that. Like
Right.
before he did that portrait, like I already knew like just that trademark. I was just like, I know it. Like that's Kehinde Wiley. Like everybody's just like, oh
Nice.
yeah, Kehinde Wiley, and I'm just like, you don't know him.
Oh, that's so
like,
cool.
like just like really like learning in and like diving into art, visual art culture. Like it planted another seed, and like
Mm-hmm.
it just gave me like a reboost of um energy that I needed just to like move me, propel me to the next step and the next level that like piqued my interest. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that sounds like it's really, that's what fuels your passion and what kind of fuels you moving forward, right?
yeah,
All that kind of stuff. Would you say like that's something that you get from a lot of external sources, or is there anything like from within that you're trying to like speak about in your art?
yeah. I feel like as of recently, I've learned to bridge the connection between uh, teaching through teaching through my craft without preaching to people. Because me personally, I don't really like when certain figures like preach to people because it's just like, are you speaking on the level of like concern and love, or are you just doing it because influencer? Or
Yeah, or agenda. Yeah, they have some kind
yes,
of,
yes, are
yeah,
you doing it
yeah.
because it did, like I immediately get suspicious. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
if I feel like that, then who else is feeling like that? Should
Right.
I, work towards incorporating more of the these speaking points? Should I inject them into my work more? And I've been exploring that a little bit more, and I
Mm-hmm.
like it like that. It keeps me low key, and I still get to say what I want to say without like being
Yeah.
problematic or like being like a complete like instigator, Instagram instigator. So,
We have too many of those anyway. We don't need more.
oh God.
Oh man. Would you say like Instagram is kind of the main platform that you're kind of around on and use or utilize?
Yeah, because it's easy. Like it's just picture, text, like nothing in
Mm-hmm.
between, and I like it like
Yeah.
that. I literally get nervous every time that there's some sort of update because I'm just like, no.
Don't change the thing I already like.
Yes,
It's already
please.
fine. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, no, exactly. I just for me, I'm on all these different platforms and I'll tell you it's a nightmare to try to like figure it all out, plan it all out, schedule it all out, these posts and everything that I try to do every single week. And I kind of wish I just like succincted more into like one platform and just really hone it there and everything. But um, yeah, I don't think there's a problem just sticking with one platform and just going with that because I mean, if it works for you.
Yeah, like I already know I'm gonna have to like be more active on other platforms, but for now I'm just like, I don't want to. So I'm just like so I'm just like until like my arm is like bent in a position where I have to, like I'm just like, all right, for now I can like put it to the put it behind me, but
Mm-hmm.
when that day
Yeah,
comes,
exactly.
I'm still gonna kind of just like do it anyhow.
Right.
So
How are you finding the kind of like business and everything going on Instagram? Do you get a lot of business from that platform, particularly like people coming in and DMing you and wanting the stuff that you're creating or their own custom thing from it? Or is it just a way for you to just take the stuff you've already done, put it out there, and then kind of shuffle them to your shop? Which, by the way, your shop is at. Do you know the URL? Because I have it written down. If
I don't. That's a shame. Like I don't. It's just like
That's fine. That's fine. So it is, you can find Evita stuff at etsy.com/Evita Loca shop. So, and it's in the show notes. It's already there, but yeah. So that's another thing I want to do with the show is that I don't want to be shy about like, hey, if you like this creator, if you like their personality, if you like their energy and their passion and you want to support them, here's the way to do it. Don't like, we got to get over that whole like I'm so shy and timid and making money off
yeah,
my art.
yeah.
Like no, that's the point. Like that's what we're all doing
Yes,
this for, is to make
exactly.
a living. We get to love it,
Exactly.
but
Like
I mean,
in the
plenty
beginning.
of people.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say real quick, like nobody questions a football player and how much they love what they do, and then they don't try to use that against them to say like, oh well, you don't deserve all that money. I mean, maybe
Exactly.
I don't know, maybe to the extent maybe, but nobody says you don't deserve to get paid. You should just do it because you love it. Like nobody says that about like
Yeah,
sports
it's and
people and musicians a lot of the time. So I find it weird they do that a lot to other artists.
yeah, it's weird. It's like it's all about passion and do what you love until the art kids show up.
Yeah, right. And
I
then
don't know
like,
what
oh,
I
do what
don't
you
know what it
love
is.
and find, yeah, and find a way to make it to make it a living. But as soon as like it feels like, especially visual artists do it, then they're just like, actually, and I'm just like, but why? Like there's nothing wrong with being passionate about something and also making a living with it. Like I feel like all of the biggest brands and stuff like that started with passion, and then
Yeah.
they grew the business to the size it is, and then through like the money that they made from it. And it's like they go hand in hand. They don't have to be like never the two shall meet. Like I don't really
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah. I feel that just as an artist you kind of like already kind of pick your destiny for yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
it's it just depends on like how much integrity you do have for your work and yourself, like cuz
Yeah.
I can be like, "Oh, like I just want, you know, my art to be for everyone and I want my art to speak on different levels," and then turn around and like sell to Walmart home section, like and completely go against like
Yeah.
everything that I've been complaining complaining about.
Right.
So it's just like under what conditions will you break, or is that is the connection between that you have between you and your art, is it unbreakable?
Mm-hmm.
Time will tell. We will see.
That's true.
Like,
That's true. And that's, I
my
feel like,
intentions are not to go that route at all. Honestly, just
right.
because like I have at this point I have pretty much almost everything I need. Like I don't really need anything else. I just want to be able to say that my work for a living is something that I like doing. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it.
I think that's what a lot of people, that's like all they want is just to be
Yeah.
able to do the stuff that they like the most, and then just be able to make a living off of that. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Like personally, I don't know. I don't hang around a lot of the circles that do see a lot of fault with that. So it's hard for I'm almost in my own little bubble of like, I feel like there's a lot of people that feel the same way I do. And I don't really super concern myself with people who feel the opposite, I guess. But
Yeah.
I do keep it in mind that it is another, viewpoint. And I just like challenging viewpoints that I feel like can kind of cause harm toward people. I'm not a super fan of like, I'm just not a super fan of people being denied their passion based on something as silly, in my opinion, as money. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like, a lot of people either have like shame or guilt, and like even having another job or having a way to make ends meet that isn't their work, and I just don't feel like there should be any kind of shame or guilt. And I'm saying that as myself. Like I went through a phase where I was like, no, I will not get I won't get a job because that's, like I need to make this work. And if I get a job, then I won't work as hard. And there
This is the
is some
only
truth to
way.
that. Yeah, there is some truth to that for sure. Like it is exhausting to have multiple jobs, but you gotta do the thing that makes it work for you and what allows you to continue to keep going. And I definitely don't feel like people who have a leg up in that, like if you have another support source, like I think that's awesome. Like just make the most of it in whatever form that looks like to you. Like if it's
Yeah.
just even sitting around and thinking about what it is you want to say, if you have the luxury to be able to do that, like enjoy that. Like,
Do it. Yeah.
you know, right? So I'm kind of like just do the thing you really want to do.
Yeah, because it's like, and it's different for it is different for everybody. Like we always like ignore the fact that um not everybody's journey is going to be identical. Like you literally have to
Mm-hmm.
listen to yourself, and you have to kind of like probe situations. Like, okay, the last time I did this, this is the result that I got. Like receive that result and kind of like rewrite a new plan. It doesn't matter how many times you have to go back to the drawing board. Like this is not the first time I quit a job and I said I'm going to do this full time. The first time I kind of ventured off onto my into the journey of like just like finding myself like as a creative independently, um I got scared and went back into work. But like we see how that kind of like ended up for me, because it's like after going back to work I got that same sick feeling like, you know, I don't want to do this. And it's like, I not, I don't want to do this just because like I just want to be a nuisance, and I don't want to do this because, defiant. But it's like, there's a place that I would rather be. And
Right.
I know, like, I know where I want to be. I'm just not being proactive into building myself up towards finding that happiness. Like I
Mm-hmm.
keep giving myself excuses. I keep making my um job, like my job, assigned job of the world. I keep making that assigned job like my main priority, but in the midst of me working this job, like I was losing myself as a person. I was I was losing my passion. Like as I'm going to every
Yeah.
time I'm going to clock in, like I'm literally murdering the side that I'm trying to preserve, which is my happiness, creativity, like all that, all the good gooey stuff on the inside. Like I was giving all that away. Like,
Right.
and the people I loved, like they were being affected by that. And I didn't notice because like I was just so obsessed with the idea of like, well, I need to make a check. Like I have to get a check, and it's there's only one way, and like I need to get a check. Like who else is gonna work around here? How are these bills gonna get paid? Like it's just this compulsive like this compulsive false narrative like voice that just keeps screaming at me, telling me like I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, not knowing that this voice stems from the things that we're told, or the things that we're shown as we're like kids. Like we watch our parents like going for a paycheck, and like we watch our parents like literally do anything for a check, like completely uproot and move to a different state, go here, go there, like miss out on everything because we're obsessed with the idea of we can't do anything without money. That is not true.
Yeah.
We can find different ways to get what we need, but we don't necessarily need money as a middleman. And it's like there's an obsession with keeping that narrative like the only truth.
Yeah. I agree. No, it's so frustrating too, because a lot of times people have gotten themselves into this kind of they work themselves up into needing a certain amount of money, and it's a lot. Like I need, you know, four digits in my bank account at all times, and they don't even think like, which I know I just kind of like showed myself there, because like to me that seems like a lot.
No, same.
Yeah, so like they, you know, they have this mentality that like I need this at all times, and they're not willing to work other ways to make that not the reality anymore. Like just to not completely keep it so you know, metaphysical. For instance, for me, back in 2012, I was looking into moving out and being on my own again, and the options for rent were ridiculous in my opinion, like $700, $800, $1,000 for one studio bedroom apartment. And I was like,
not doing it.
I can't even imagine making enough money to be able to afford that easily. Like in my opinion, you have to make like $3,000-$4,000 a month to be able to afford that easily without it being like a huge pain, or have multiple people in on it. And I was like, I want to live by myself. So I looked into other alternative ways to make a living and make it work for me. And for me, I was like, all I need is like a bathroom and a bed and a kitchen and a place to do my work. What even exists that is like that, that's small and compact? I was like, RVs are like that. I looked into it. People did it. They lived in them full time, and they weren't just, you know, retired or whatnot. So that's what ended up being my dream. And right now I'm paying like $450 a month for rent. That's doable for me, you know, like, and so that's how I made it work for me, because to me, instead of living in some kind of like big fancy apartment in the middle of town or whatever, it's more important for me to be able to live by myself and how I want. Like I kind of turned the dream of living in an RV not only as the affordable option, but also the option I wanted the most. Like they kind of merged together, and then I was like, oh, I actually prefer this over anything else. So somebody like gave me the keys to an expensive apartment or a house or something, I would just sell it and fix this place up. Like
like it's like
someone test me on that. Like I want to someone test me on that. Go ahead and hand me the keys to a house and see what I'll do.
Yeah, like, and it's like the ownership, like it's freedom. It's so freeing. Like we own our cars. That's the most like, oh my God, it feels so good. Like my friends talk about like, oh, like this is broken on it, but I still have car payments. It's in the shop, but you're still paying the car payments. Like, like I just it adds to the ongoing headache of life, and it's just like just you know it's so it is okay to like work for what you want, but it's just like how long are you gonna be working? Are we just gonna
Yeah,
continue to work for something that's not yours for the rest of our life? That sounds miserable to me.
right.
Like that sounds like trash. Like
And and kind of at the end of the day, what does it all mean? Like, it's important to not just keep putting off that question just because it's uncomfortable to think about.
hmm it
And
means
we,
nothing. It means like we wasted time, and it's like um a lot of older people pretty much say the same thing when it comes to like, did you have any regret? If you could do something over again, like what would you do? A lot of them were like time related
yeah,
responses,
yeah,
and time is money. And you see where I'm kind of going with it. It's just like, okay, like I guess we have to like listen to our elders on this one. Like if they have regrets, then it's like, okay, like what can I do to break that cycle better? Like how can I learn from this person to um, make life a little bit easier for myself? And that's
mm-hmm,
ownership. Like I feel like creativity ties back into ownership, because you don't have to go out and buy if you can create a world for yourself.
yeah,
Like you don't have to keep you don't have to keep living on someone else's means temporarily. If you are able to create for yourselves. And like you know no, I disappeared. I'm talking about the like anything like carpenters of the world, like the blacksmiths, the um any type of way you can create your own um kind of like create your own oyster, like go for it, do that.
yeah.
Because if you can create your own world, then it's kind of it creates less stress for you in the
Yeah,
long run. You're
it
happier.
really does. Yeah, yeah, because it's as much, and all the challenges I've had with living in this place, but like it's almost like while it is stressful, it's so much less stressful than if I was like in an apartment and someone else it was their job to help me out, and then I'm waiting on them, and and it's like none of it's in my control. Like because I own this place and I like it's my control whether or not I put something off or do it right away or fix it right away. Like it's stressful that it's not fixed or it is broken, but at least it's like kind of like I get to choose the priority and where
Yeah.
that sits in my life. And there's some real value in being able to have that choice to like make priorities and them being yours and not just like what someone else wants or dictates.
Yeah. Like just having like a minimal lifestyle is not just this like gimmicky like hipster trend. Like it literally makes you
Right.
happy, because like the less you have,
Yeah.
then the less you have to worry about.
Right.
So I'm not gonna even when I do start like really um hopefully like making millions. I don't even need the millions, but if I do start making like millions off of like my craft, like still I don't really need that much, nor do I care to have so much stuff surrounding me, because like just literally was it Biggie? More money, more yeah, big. I'm like just like Biggie says, like more money, more problems. Like it literally that's true. It's true, because
Yeah.
then you start kind of like um attracting people who aren't really here for you. They're just here for the
Yeah.
idea of you, and
Right.
and that's another one of like my pet peeves. It's just like people who like just kind of have false roles in my life. It's just like, I mean, you don't have to be here for me. It's fine, but it's just like if you have like your own like agenda and stuff like that, then it's just like I don't know what to tell those people. It's like that's why I'm just kind of like I want it like everything the way it is now. I want that to be. I want that to kind of like be, you know, in the future. So
Yeah. That's good though. Like you've already got the thing that you're the most like excited about, and moving forward, it's not about like endlessly improving that thing. Like
yeah,
to the like there, I feel like I'm finding personally more value in the word enough. Like what I
yes,
have is enough, and like being grateful and content with that. And
yeah,
we're in a society that just screams about having more, more, more to whatever cost, the cost of the environment, the cost of people, the cost of everything. For me, like just having enough, and I know in my head what that looks like I'd be pretty happy with that. Like that would solve all of the like silly little problems I have. And then I literally think about all the problems that I have that I'd like to get fixed, like literal
yeah,
problems like hot water heater or something. But then once that's done, I don't sit there and think about like, well, maybe I'll upgrade this and upgrade that, like the same things I just fixed. Like, no, like, oh, okay, it's done. That's enough. That's all I
and that's
needed
that.
was
Yeah,
that to be fixed. And then for me, that opens up my mind to stop dwelling on like the hierarchy of needs. Have you seen that triangle where it shows you like the different hierarchy of needs, with the bottom being like warmth and food and shelter and that kind of thing, and then it works up to like emotional needs, personal need, like um, socialization needs, and then at the top, at the very top of the pyramid, the kind of like thing that you're striving for is like self actualization, which is the creativity, the passion. What do you want to say at the end of your life? Like that is like the upper tier that you can only get to once all these like base needs are met. And I feel like I'm kind of like at all levels of the pyramid at the same time, because I'm really trying hard to work at that top pyramid style. But um, sometimes I just have to ignore some of the fact that the other needs aren't met. But
yeah,
the main thing for me is like, if I could have it so I don't have to worry about these like trivial things, my mind immediately opens up, okay, how can I help others? How can, like, it
yes,
immediately goes to a humanitarian mindset instead of just thinking about me. I start immediately like, okay, how can I pay it forward? How can I help others? How can I grow like my platform in order to help others grow? Like it just turns into like a community mindset of like helping as soon as I get like these base needs met. And I think if there was like more concentration in that, of thinking about that in society, like just everything would be better. I don't know, but
no, you're 100% right about that because we're so reliant on like just like the superficial things that like this like world has to offer in like plastic bags and like just things you can get from the store. Like we're so reliant on that stuff that we forget how to be human.
mm-hmm.
And anytime I see like somebody's like, you know, really struggling with like just the basics, like I feel really bad because it's just like, wow, they have a long way to go. Like, not to say like, oh, wow, oh, looking down, like, sucks for you. But it's like, what is, it's like this poor human being has been like shown, shown these like, um, false narratives so much that like they're having trouble registering like reality and, you know, fake from reality.
Right.
And like, you know, and I think like creatives, like, not to say that like we're like God's gifts to earth, but we kind of like are like, you know, create, you know, to create is like, you know, how this whole world like kind of like came to be in the first place. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
we, you know, like creatives, like the world can be like burning up outside, which it was with this whole COVID thing. But it's just like I'm looking
Yeah.
at the fashion industry and it's popping right now. I'm looking at like the movie industry, like all these indie movies popping up out of like just popping up and getting the recognition that they need. Like these new cartoons are coming out, like these new shows, like this shows, like everything that was controlled by like non-creative, like go by the book, like corporate figures, like the little people are kind of taking over, because meanwhile, while they're panicking up here, because it's just like, oh my God, COVID, we can't do anything. We're just like, does anybody have a paper clip and some string? Like, let's make this.
I got a movie idea. Happen. I gotta make it.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's like our comfort zone of like wanting to create, to kind of like soothe whatever's going on in here. When we create beautiful things out of absolutely nothing, it soothes us. And at the same time, like when we publish or post or, share whatever we've created, like it's like a butterfly effect. It makes other people happy,
Yeah.
Like, and if we just keep this cycle going, the earth might be a little bit greener. But,
Right. No, I see really good things coming from this experience on the creativity front. And kind of like you were saying with being creative and how that helps people, I also have a belief that anyone can be creative. It's just whether or not they tap into it, or if they're like shutting that side of themselves off by either just some kind of blatant self-assertion of like, I'm not creative. Like, okay, well, with that attitude, you're absolutely right. It's just, or if it's just like they don't realize that what they are doing is a form of creativity, in the sense that they are creating something. Some people think that, oh, I work a trade. I build houses. That's not creative. I'm like, are you kidding me?
No.
Like, there's so much artistry in that. Like, even
yes, it is.
Just anything you can think of that goes from a pile of raw materials to now it's a beautiful thing that you look at or utilize in some way. Like, that's creative. But I feel like there's also like this emphasis on like there's a lack of value in that in society to some degree, for whatever reason. Even though we love being entertained by it, there's also like this weird dichotomy of like undervaluing it at the same time. And it's just like, I don't know if anybody can go 5 minutes without looking at their phone anymore, which is not a criticism, because I am absolutely that person who can't do that as well. But the reason like why it's so compelling is because we want something to entertain us all the time, because it's kind of where we are as like just humanity. And in that, like, it's so weird to me that, and I've talked about this before in other episodes, like someone will come up to you and be like, I can't even draw a stick figure. And you're like, okay, well, this painting is $600. And they're like, I'm not paying $600. Okay. You're telling me you couldn't do this ever, or you don't possess the ability to do this. I tell you the value of this thing, and then you just immediately don't care for it. So I don't know. I just find a lot of interesting like back and forth with the way society like both wants what we do, but also doesn't value it in order, like, and doesn't want to pay us for it. But like at the same time, it's like money isn't everything. It's like I kind of live in this world of like everything is both things at once.
Yeah, it's like, because it's an understanding of all things, to the point where it's just like, I know why this, I know why we need this, I know why we do this, but it's like, can we just have some balance? That's the main issue, and the main focus is just like everything is just thrown off, and like there's an imbalance. Like, clearly there's an imbalance, because all of the corporations that we know and we hate to love, but we love them anyway, pretty much like they've kind of run the world. So it's like, but it's like, we love what they have to offer, and like we can't get enough of them though at the same time.
Right.
And that shows, because when that $700 painting is like presented to you, we're kind of like in this dilemma, like, I don't know, that's a little bit too much in my price range, but we'll turn around and like get that same amount of money in a Louis Vuitton or Chanel bag, and it's just like, you know?
Yeah. It's so weird how, and it's all about the perception of value, like whether we feel
Yeah.
like it's worth it. Because if we find it's worth it, we'll find a way to make it work. We'll get a loan. We'll put it on a credit card. We'll do whatever it takes to get the thing. But if we don't see the value in it or don't acknowledge the value in it personally, then we're just like, it's not worth it to me. And the answer is
Yeah.
no. But it, and it's weird to exist in a way that you can see both sides and you don't see it as good and bad. You just are like, this is just how it is. And I kind of wish it were
It's just how
different,
it is.
but yeah.
Best thing to do is just like make whatever, like just make it work for you. Because like,
Yeah.
I mean, even in that same sense, like just the definition of value is like, what does it mean to you? Like it has to, like value has to, you have to kind of put a value on yourself if you're gonna,
Yeah.
be, creating. Otherwise you're just gonna, I don't know, you're just gonna kind of like hopelessly create and not feel good about like doing whatever it is that like you're doing at the time. Like I would feel guilty sometimes about like drawing, because it's just like, well, I mean, I could be doing something else. I could be like uh studying for some sort of like medical test or something like that,
Yeah.
because like I know that that's an accepted like subject. But you know, I should
It
put as
doesn't.
much value on my work and my art as I put in, like, being a doctor or being a lawyer or something like that. But
Right. Right.
we we have a difficult time of doing that though. But
Yeah.
definitely I definitely had the like the struggle journey with like placing value on myself and my work. So like
Yeah.
just ignoring those like bad thoughts, like, oh, what are you doing, like you're doing this for nothing, like this is just hobby, just let it be a hobby, like
Right.
ignore all of that. Ignore
Yeah.
all of that,
Yeah.
because
If
pretty
it's what you
soon like
truly
those,
love. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, like the trick is like when you do stop all that stuff, that's when you start feeling miserable about everything. Like you
Yeah.
start feeling like the emotional um heaviness on like just day-to-day life. So just keep doing it, like
Yeah.
literally keep, don't ever stop. Like before I used to just think it was like a corny saying, like, oh, believe in yourself, keep going. But
Mm-hmm.
seriously, seriously,
Yeah.
there's a
Honestly.
reason why these little messages like exist, and why like Sesame Street exists, and like these little like why old folks like just don't stop like smiling at you, because like they know that there's like hope, there's hope somewhere, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that
So
I find a lot of value in that personally, and just
yeah.
having hope and not, you know, everything can be bad, which look around,
Yes.
and still feel like there's something that you can give and do and contribute that is going to help someone else. Like I just feel like, in me personally, so this is actually the 8th episode of Colourisma, and that means I've been doing this every week for 2 months now, which doesn't sound like a lot, right? Doesn't sound like a lot, but for me, this is about the time when, if it hasn't like gotten as big as I wanted, or the attention that I wanted it to, I would usually feel like down on myself and be like, I don't know, maybe nobody cares, maybe it's not worth it, maybe it's not reaching the people I want it to, or whatever. And I feel like there's two forks, and if it's something I don't really care about, like I like it but I don't love it, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
then I'll let that negative self-talk and like mentality let me stop doing it. But then there's another thing, and it goes, but are you doing everything that you can? And my brain
Yeah.
goes, well, and then like, because a little problem solver mode comes on, it goes, well, actually I could do this. And it's it's another list of things on added to the long list of things to do. But at the same time, that also gives me hope, because I realize, like, oh no, actually, even though I'm showing up every week and doing the show, I could advertise it better. I could communicate better with people. I could make ads. I could start, you know, paying a couple bucks for advertising on Instagram, whatever. I can do more to make this more successful. And then it's like, oh no, like this. And that's when I start veering into that mindset. That's when I know I'm onto something, and how I have something that's worth pursuing.
It took me, like, I can definitely piggyback off of that, because it took me, it collectively, I want to say it took me probably like over 10 years to kind of like get things going, because
Yeah.
in that first segment of the 10 years, it's like, what do I want to do?
Right.
Then you spend another couple of years like kind of dabbling in whatever it is that you want to do, and then like that next couple of years, you're just like, okay, fine, I'm gonna buy the parts to it.
Yep.
Like, if anything backfires, like I'm gonna stop. I swear, I'm gonna stop. And it's like the next couple years after that, you're like working your way into like eliminating like the just the negativity that any like lingering negativity you might have. And the next couple years after that, it's just like, okay, can I keep the momentum built? Can I keep the momentum going, even though I'm not getting the results that this self-help book says that I was going to get? Like, and then like you kind of like reach like this like rebel state of mind where you're just like, yeah, I do what I want. Like, I don't care if anybody's watching. Like,
try to stop
then
me.
you just
try
to stop me. And then like all of a sudden, like, you know, day in and day out, like I just like developed this like, you know, leather jacket of a personality to kind of like, you know, keep myself going. There were plenty of times, even still now, like I still have like times where I'm tested, like my abilities are tested, or like just my mindset is tested. Back in 2015, I did my first like public major fashion show. It was I don't want to name drop, so I can talk my mess, but like something it was like a fashion show for like, you know, citywide. It was a big deal to me. I got selected. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, like this has to be my moment. This is it.
Right.
I work really hard for like months on end. I completely changed my creative like concept to kind of like fit in the favor of the audience, like I'm trying to win over. Did it work? No, it did not. But like I was still proud of like my work, because this time around I was doing like, you know, designing these like ball gowns and like these really pretty, you know, pretty going out on dinner dresses, like, and I thought that fit in like the southern charm of, you know, of fashion. I wanted to fit in that category. So, you know, I get all my models together, which, mind you, at this time no one like really wanted to like model for me or even like show up to practice or do anything like that, because I just like I'm just like, all right, all three of you, put on these dresses and like let's have a good show tonight. I got decent feedback from the crowd, where I thought that evening I was just like to get back the picture from the
Uh-oh. Might have lost you. Oh no. Haven't had this issue happen before. I'm not sure what's going on. My phone is locked up, and I'm not trying to press buttons, but stuff's happening. Oh dear. Oh, okay. Looks like we lost Evita. Let's see if we can get her back real fast. Sorry about this, everyone. This is a live show. This is kind of the reality of it. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Sure enough, here we go. You in?
I think we're better.
Okay, there we are.
It was doing this weird dancey thing. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Now we're back at it.
It was real choppy, and I was trying real hard to still like piece it together, even though I was getting 25% of what you're saying. And if you
on my end, like there was a little banner on the top hand corner saying like it was trying to like we could like the whole unit from my computer was trying to get it. I was like, why? So yeah, but just hopping back into it. So I do this show for the first time. That's like a really big deal to me. It's like it's citywide. Everybody's gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I completely changed my whole design concept up to kind of like fit in the favor of like, you know, where I was at the time. Like, yeah. So I decided to make like these really pretty, like, you know, ball gowns, like evening gowns, like evening wear. Although like before I just made like really like kind of kooky, like really kooky pieces. So I got like more serious, studied up on like, you know, bigger designers, like, why can't I think of anybody? But just like, yeah, just studied up on some designers, and I just like, okay, like, you know, I can do this. So, you know, the process was just long and like agonizing as far as like, I would keep getting reminders that I ain't shit every point that I hit. Like, I would reach out to models and they're just like, like, is it paid? And I'm just like, I mean, I can try to pay you, and they're just like,
$5
left on red. Or like I think I reached out to like try to get like some sort of like sponsorships for like fabric and stuff like that, and like the companies are just like, absolutely not. But here's a coupon for 10%, kiddo. You can have that. Yeah, just running into reminders, but like I was just like still really excited that I got selected for the citywide show. And you know, the night I got like all 4 of my models together, it was only like a few of them out of the like 20 people I reached out to, but that was okay because, you know, boom, here's my village right here. Like I will make use of what I have and like, you know, just grow from what I have. So the show goes on, and like, you know, I make my own music mix and everything like that. I was really excited for the music and stuff, like, because finally like people get to like kind of dip into just like my playlist, and I was excited to share that. And just like super just naive to everything, like, wow, like the big city, and like just everybody's gonna see my stuff.
Yep.
That night they posted pictures, and I was like, yes, they posted, like my stuff was on their Instagram. Like, let's see what we got here. I look at the not comment, but caption. I look at the caption, and it says something along the lines of Evita Loca girls ready to hit the club. Club? Like club dresses? like what? And like I was kind of like devastated over that, because I know who may have written that caption, because the whole time I was there was this one woman who just did not like, she just did not receive me well. And it was really mind-boggling to me, because this person, I would have assumed that they understood, being another like fellow brown person. I'm just like, and you're a woman too, and it's just like,
Right.
I thought this is where intention comes in, because like, it doesn't matter what you think this person might be. Like, people have their own individual like um personality composition. So I'm just like, okay, I know she wrote that. Why do you hate me? And like, is this how it is being a rookie designer, or like,
Right.
am I just a joke? So like, I got really upset, and at that moment I was just like, I'm never doing competition-esque, like juried art competitions ever again. I think the whole concept is kind of dumb, and I'm speaking from hurt right now, but it's
Right.
like, not everybody is going to understand or follow you when it comes to, creating something. Like,
Yeah.
on what level are you judging?
Yeah.
Are you could be judging just because you don't like me, you didn't pick me. That's reality. That's a thing. You could be judging because, I don't really like purple. Like, I don't really like yellow. You should have just picked pick a different medium. Like, I don't really like
Yeah.
pottery. Like, you should have picked something else. Like, I don't really like this style.
Right.
There's so many different levels you can judge on, and I just thought it was like completely unfair. But I just told myself, I'm like, I'm not gonna do that again. So, continuing on with my journey, completely not ever gonna like let anybody tell me what I am ever again.
Right.
And I put that into my work, and I began the stages of wearing that motorcycle jacket, that
Yep.
biker jacket personality.
Yep.
And slowly but surely I was seeing results, here and there, like small little things here and there. Like, I was seeing results. I just like, just kept that mentality. And since 2015, what is it, like is it 8 years? No, wow, I can't count. No, 5, yeah, 5 years later, just, within the last like 2 years, like the ball just started to kind of like, gain some momentum. Because for a long time I was pushing that ball up the hill myself.
Right. Right. And it's so heavy.
Yeah. So
giant
heavy.
boulder of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I've been
so
seeing
heavy.
your work lately, and it, to me, just as I'm not super in the fashion industry or anything, but just to me, I see your stuff, and to me it seems like it's blowing up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if you feel that, but like, just from the designs you're posting, and then like the images of people, I don't know, the people like who bought your items, right? Like,
Yeah, like customer.
I'm thinking of the. Oh, I was
Sorry.
thinking of that. Oh, no worries. I think there might be a little delay between us, but I was thinking of the one image with sitting on the horse and everything, which is like your fashion mixed with horses, and I'm just like, oh, this is my favorite image ever.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like the whole coordinator of that, like, with COVID, there's like, it's positive and negative, but mostly like positive. If you know what I'm saying, like, with COVID, like, it just opened up so many doors and so many possibilities, because we're creatives again. Boom, creatives. We're finding little ways like around the big problem areas. So,
Right.
well-known stylist Beyonce Dunn, she really like introduced me to like a higher level of like the industry, without like me having to like not be myself. Like, so there wasn't like another like, revisit of 2015 in that show. Like, I could stay myself. I could remain and like, still like gain momentum and like gain attention through what I, know and love. Like, I didn't have to change anything up. And it's like I'm continuing to like just running into like more creatives, and like even people that I've known all along. Like, I'm still meeting the creative sides of them, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, I wish this would have like been a thing. Like, I wish this would have been a thing like 5 years ago, but like I'm not even complaining because I understand there were things that I needed to learn before I could like, like unlock these achievements. Like,
you had to go through it. It sucks, but you had to go through it. Yeah.
And it's amazing. Literally everybody like I'm coming in contact with, like all my friends, all of my friends are just like, they have a creative side to them, and they're like they're just inspirations on their own, and like I'm watching them do their thing, and I'm just like, yeah, and they're just like, yeah, and so it's like we're just gonna like keep doing the thing, and it's like just like keep building this community, like just keep like snatching this thing that was like ultimately meant for us as like visionaries and like creatives. Like, we're just snatching all this, everything that was ours, we're just snatching it back. So it's like, it's just really refreshing, because like as a person, as people who are like really shy and like just really kind of like to ourselves for the most part, around this COVID time, we're just like shining stars.
Exactly. It's like, well, no one else is gonna be me. I might as well be me now. Like, what else am I gonna do?
It's it's like perfect temperature. Like, there's no excuses. Like, there's no more like all that static, unnecessary static is like kind of like on freeze, and we can just kind of like maneuver.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and as bad as it is for the aspects that it is bad, like if you can, I just feel like it's really important to see the good and be able to utilize what you can out of the situation. And for some people it's going to sound weird, but I think 2020 will be their year. Like, we all kind of started off saying that, but I think if you can grow from this, I think that's a good thing. Like, I want to see people succeed and grow and have the space to be able to grow. And I think that, like what you said, is absolutely true. What happens is with everything being on pause and freeze, like, it is like if you cut down a forest of the big trees, the little saplings have the light now to be able to shine on them and be able to grow now. And I find that like that's really inspiring to me. Just kind of being able to witness all that right now. I find that's like pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's like, and it's really reassuring, because it's like for the longest time we've been asking ourselves, like, if I love to do this one thing so much, like, what's the point if I'm not getting results, or what's the point of doing this? Like, why can't I just like, I'm just going to go to work. I'm just going to go to work and then just like put what I love on the back burner, because like nothing's right. Like, nothing's right for the moment. But it's just like getting that reassurance. It's refreshing, because it's really truly overwhelming, because who'd have thunk it? Like, it's like you wanted the results. This is what you wanted, but like you're still surprised. Like, just being proud of myself finally, for once, like, being comfortable with myself for once, being comfortable, all of that just through creativity, nothing else but creativity. That's where I gained my confidence. That's where I really truly found myself.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that, because you deserve it. Because I know when I first met you and we started chatting about like what it is that you're really passionate about, like I was like, man, you need it. That's what you need to do. That's going to be amazing. And I've definitely seen it and seen the growth. And like, you do stuff that I've never seen before. I've never seen anyone else do before. I think that's so awesome. I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love to see it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And and I want my community to just keep getting that message of like keep going, keep going, keep
Mm-hmm.
going, keep going,
Mm-hmm.
keep going, keep going, keep going. Because
Yeah.
like with everything happening right now, it's easy to be like, well, we're doomed. That's it. But it's
Right.
just like
Right.
literally what goes up must come down. Like there's always a silver lining. We just need to be patient. We need to be
Right.
patient, and we need to change our perspective in a lot of things. And we need to just hold on, hold on, hold
Yep.
on. It's not gonna come when you
Yep.
want it, but it's
Yep.
coming. Just wait. Like so.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, it's been about an hour. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you're so busy and you got stuff to do. I so appreciate you coming in and joining me on the show today. It's exactly what I wanted. Was wanting to hear like your backstory and why you're so passionate about what you are, and it's just I love it.
I'm ready for a part two.
Absolutely. Anytime. Yeah. Yeah. Anytime. And if you have anything coming up, do you have anything that you'd like to promote or talk about as far as sharing with everybody?
Definitely I'm going to be diving in more with my full looks, like just full like outfits. Because
Mm-hmm.
now I'm just like working on a lot of like do-rags and accessories.
Right.
And yeah, I want to kind of just like push forward more of just everything, just
Yeah.
more of everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely be checking in my Etsy.
Absolutely. Which is
Evita Loca. I think it's Evita Loca. Etsy.com
.com.
slash shop Evita Loca or Evita Loca shop.
We have it. We definitely have it written down. Don't worry.
It's in the notes. I can
It's
explain
in the
why I don't
notes.
know this off the top of my head, but that's for a later time.
Exactly. That's for part two. We'll get to that.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. I appreciate you being here, Evita. I appreciate everybody who's stayed and watched the episode. And if you have any like questions or anything, go ahead. If you're seeing this later, go ahead and ask those in the comments. As always, this is Colourisma, and if you are interested in helping support the show, then you can check out patreon.com/Colourisma. And I appreciate again everybody being here, you being here, Evita. I appreciate everybody. So
Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and call that a show, and take care, everyone. I will try to click this button, which is being very difficult. And yeah, and that's technology for you. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.